Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but nothing's working? Keep trying and hoping the next one is the one, but all you get is silence, rejection, or that sinking feeling of not again. I'm sure everyone's been there, I'm sure everyone's failed. But let's talk about this. Failing. It's got to be one of the most powerful things to have or to go through. Because that fail, if you learn from that fail, you know what not to do and you know what to improve. It tells you a lot about what the situation is or what you're doing and how you can change. This is how people learn. And if you want to be successful or something in life, you've got to fail more times than anyone would ever want to fail. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be, why am I doing this? It's not working. Eventually, it will just click. Until you're at that point, you won't expect it and you won't be thinking, oh, this is not going to happen. But eventually, it will just click. Again, you've got to be dedicated, and these fails, take them as a positive. Don't need to be a negative. If you go, yeah, I've failed. Yeah, I've done this wrong. And you've actually understood what you've done wrong, how you can improve. That is what you need to be doing. If you're failing and then going, I've done everything right, but I'm failing, you've obviously done something wrong, or maybe something just hasn't gone your way. And I failed a fair few times, from YouTube videos that have failed or flopped, things that I've put my hardest in and thought this is going to do really well, and then it's failed. Now, we all go through this. It's a normal feeling. Happens. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things go wrong, but I learned from the mistake, learned from the fail. I know what to do better. I know what to not do. And it's a learning curve. And eventually, after you've failed so many times, you'll see a bit of a pattern occurring, just like with everything. You'll see a repetitive pattern that you can read and maybe even find out how you can overcome it or become better. And if you fail the most, you're going to learn the most, because if you don't fail, how are you going to learn different things that you might not have knew? You've got to go through the learning process and the failing process to actually get to the end point, or somewhere that you can say, right, I'm actually good at this and I've failed enough times to maybe learn people or whatever. And one thing that I did learn is the first fails, they're not the worst, they're just the loudest, the ones that might mean the most. So once you get through that first hurdle, it all then becomes quieter, becomes a little bit easier to cope, and you can actually recognize the fails and go, I've done this, shouldn't do that, so on. But looking back on things that I have gave up because of failing, I think now, why did I do that? Should have stuck to it. Where would I have been now? What would I have accomplished? Maybe I could have been living a different lifestyle, whatever. So you have a bit of regret. So this is why you shouldn't quit, because of failing. It's not a good habit and it's not a good thing to do. Yeah, maybe I was young at the time, but I don't think that's an excuse. I have learned from that, so I suppose it is a learning curve again. So I did get something out of it, whether it wasn't the best or wasn't the worst. As soon as you start noticing, maybe a pattern or your fails, what you're doing, things will start getting easier. You'll start realizing. But if you're failing and not realizing what you're failing or what you're doing wrong, this is a bad thing. If you're failing, make sure you learn from it. If you're not learning from it, you're going to be going backwards. You're not going to be moving forward, and it might affect you. And I started noticing a few patterns. Like, why did I give up on this video idea? Why did that habit not stick? And maybe why did that video flop? It wasn't the niche. Turns out it's actually me. When I first started doing YouTube, I didn't have a system. I didn't have the patience, and I wasn't solving problems that should have been solved, or I wasn't acknowledging my fails and saying, yeah, I've done this wrong, let me do this differently. And nothing happened because I wasn't realizing I was failing. I was just stuck in the same position as I was in the start. So sometimes it might take a few fails to realize what you're actually doing wrong. Sometimes that might happen. You just got to figure out what's going wrong. If you're starting a business and you're failing a few times, you're bound to fail. It's something new. Maybe something different happened to you. There's loads of different probabilities and possibilities that could have happened to you that might have been different than others. So don't take it too personally. But make sure you try, and if there was an issue, think, that issue is, the video is just rubbish, then resolve the issue, figure it out, improve the videos, do whatever you need to do to improve. This is like what I say every video, just always improve. If you're always looking to improve, you're going to be getting far in life. That's the biggest thing I could tell anyone. Always look to improve. Even the best need to improve. And now I can say I've learned from them fails or the mistakes that I might have made in the past. And I know what not to do and what to do. like I said before. And you will get to the point when you carry on failing and failing and failing and failing, that it just doesn't faze you. And maybe you're expecting another fail. And when you get to that point, I think that's the best point that you can get to. Because when you're expecting a fail, you'll probably get the opposite. You'll probably get a good thing to happen, a positive thing to happen. So get to that point where you're just failing and failing and it doesn't even bother you anymore. You're improving, and you're also failing. But as long as you're improving and getting closer to your goal or your steps or whatever you're doing, that's what you need. Do not be knocked off by fails. It's making you a better person. It's not making you a worse person. It's making you a worse person if you don't think anything about them and just leave them. It's making you a better person if you take them, use them to your advantage and go, I'm going to improve this because of that. That's how you do it properly. That's how to be better after mistakes. And I think you've got to realise, if you want to put yourself out there, if you want to get a bit more out of life and maybe be successful, you have to fail more times than you can count, or more times than any normal person is willing to fail. This is how the best become the best. This is how people create businesses. You've just got to fail to get places. And every person that you admire, let's say Iman Gatsi, I'm sure he's failed more times than you can even think. But guess what? He didn't give up. He carried on going. And that's what made him him. If you do exactly what he's done, you're going to get something out of it. It's just common sense. And if you get knocked down 100 times, get back up and get knocked down another time. Just keep on going. You've got to always be ready and just get up and get on with it. You can't be thinking, oh, this is boring, should we quit? Thinking, doubt. Just get on with it. Get through it. It's not going to be hard. It's not going to be difficult. And eventually it will just click and you will get that thing that you wanted or the goal that you wanted or whatever you're aiming for. It will eventually come. Carry on going. Don't let the fails put you off. They're there to help you. And if you're failing right now, make sure don't run away from it. Don't be a pussy. Get on with it. It's just the process. Trust the process and it will work better for you. Learn from your mistakes. Carry on improving and you will get somewhere. And I hope you did enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe and like and comment. 4 away from 600. And it's my birthday in less than a week. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.